Persepolis is a Western movie for Western audiences. It was never intended to be an Iranian movie. It was, however, intended to be what Westernized would think an Iranian movie or an oppressed Iranian would be like. Persepolis is a movie made by a French team in France. Its story, however, is what leads people to believe that it is an eye-opening, groundbreaking movie about Iran and Iranians. The reason for that is, it's based on a 4-part comic book series with the same name. The author of that series being Marjan Satrapi. Marjan Satrapi, who published these comic books about her life between 2000 and 2003. But for now, I would like to talk about the movie. The movie starts with Marjan in an airport, putting on her hijab because she is headed to Tehran. In the airport bathroom, we get a shot of her in hijab being contrasted with a woman in a short dress putting on makeup. In this shot, the movie right off the bat puts us, the viewers, in an unwritten comparison between what the West represents and what Iran stands for, that being from a Western point of view. We then go back in time and modern-day Marjan starts telling us about her childhood. Back then, Marjan was a happy child, back when the Shah was in charge. That was partially because she did not understand what the country was like. Her family is communist and they hate the Shah, but they are shown enjoying their life, drinking and partying. We learned that her grandpa was a royalty, but also a communist before the Shah was in charge. And we also learned that he was imprisoned. Her uncle is in prison and her dad is a photographer, but something changes their life at this point. A revolution. People screaming down with the Shah, down with the Shah, and the Shah, this dictator who sold his country to Westerners, goes down. Her dad remains optimistic, however, but his optimism is misplaced as, according to the film, it's now worse for them. Muslim fundamentalists take over, scenes start getting noticeably darker, and everything goes downhill from here. Marjan at this point doesn't like the Shah. She takes some nails and chases a kid whose dad worked for the Shah's secret police. She's pictured speaking to God, not in any Iranian or even Middle Eastern visual representation of God, but a Christian Western one. When she is shown forgiving the kid for his dad being in the secret police, she is also shown using a Western Christian gesture. But she is growing up now, and that means she needs to put on a hijab and dress modestly because of the Islamic rule. One time her mom gets called a whore by a thick bearded man who will show up to be oppressive throughout the whole movie. She will also have 2 women who move like snakes and have hooked noses like the Jewish stereotypes. These 2 women are from the morality police and they want to arrest her for wearing a punk is not dead shirt and punk shoes, because apparently that's something 2 old Iranian women in the 80s would know. We are also shown people fighting over groceries in an empty supermarket, which is implied to be a result of the Islamic takeover. Her beloved uncle and others were either tortured or executed by the new regime, something we never saw visually when the similar actions were done by the Shah in the film, but are shown when done during the Islamic takeover. There is a sequence on how people would secretly make alcohol after it was banned. There are also multiple sequences about how they would party in secret, about how the evil regime would recruit young men to die in the Iran-Iraq war, about how Marjan's family is very westernized. They read Western philosophers, wear Western dresses and suits, and listen to Western music. There are a lot more things in the film to mention as examples, but here's the thing. There are 3 types of people in the film. Marjan and her family, who are very Western legible, they are the main cast, they are the ones Westerners are meant to relate to and empathize with. There are the poor ignorant Iranians who just follow orders and do what they have always been told to do without having critically thought about anything. An example of those are some young soldiers who stopped Marjan's father at some point. There's also their neighbor who came to Marjan's mom for help. This woman who wears the hijab but doesn't know why. These are the people that need saving by the Western-coded heroes. And thirdly, there are the evil Iranians, the Muslim fundamentalists, the oppressors, the evil hijabi morality police, and the bearded men who call women whores and police their hijab and what they wear. And that's why the opening scene of this movie is so telling. It shows Marjan's transformation from living in the West with her hair out to going back oppressed by those dirty, rugged, oppressing Muslimists in Iran. The lesson being, or I guess the impression this film leaves us with, if any, is that if you are westernized, you are correct and you deserve our sympathy. If you are not westernized, however, then you are either irrationally evil and oppressive, or an ignorant person who needs saving. This is what I meant when I said it is a Western movie for Western audiences. It's nothing more than an Orientalist work with extra steps. Instead of portraying Middle Easterners through the usual Orientalist stereotypes, however, it just takes an extra step showcasing the westernized Middle Easterners, the only good Middle Easterners. Thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate that a lot. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of this stuff. I'm just making shorter stuff now because my longer stuff are doing really badly. So I'm trying different new stuff, you know. Leave me comments. I love you to read your comments so much. Thank you. Love you. Bye bye.